Are you looking to buy a home here in 2022, or are you going to wait for the rates to drop? We're going to discuss some of your options with a mortgage lender coming right up. Hey, this is Dan Henson with Sarasota Florida Living. On our podcast, we have Dave Mclaughlin from NFM Lending with us today. I know Dave for probably about 25 years. He used to be in real estate, and now he's in mortgage. So that's what's awesome about Dave and his team is he totally understands the real estate market like no other lender will. And that's why I love working with Dave. And we brought him on to help us figure out this market. So, Dave, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you and your team and share our experience and about this market.
What does a recession mean to this market? I mean, obviously we're facing a recession. So, what does that mean to this market in your field?
Yeah, we talk about it a lot, and we've been talking about the cost of waiting for years. And people in 2017 said that we were going to go back in pricing. Well, we never did. We kept going forward, and they wished they would have bought. So what your team does and what I do is we help people create wealth through real estate, and there's never a bad time to buy real estate. And even today, as we get into a recession, a lot of people are on the fence saying, I'm going to wait for prices to come down. I'm going to wait for rates to come down. But you can't time the market. It's hard to time the market. And I tell my borrowers, well, last year, sometimes people had to pay $75,000, $100,000 over the asking price just to get it.
Yep.
And then it still wasn't guaranteed, and they had to pay the appraisal gap, waive home inspections. So now you can negotiate. There's some strengths to getting into a home today.
Yeah, we're a little bit normal now. I mean, everybody's so worried about, oh my gosh, the values are dropping. No, it's just everything was pretty inflated, and people were scrambling to get homes, and now we're back to a little more of a normal market.
It is a little bit normal market. And, we talked about it, a recession. Employment numbers are still good. But history says as we get into a recession, that the Fed is going to lower the interest rate. And if you look at, 2000 tech bubble, they lowered the rate.
Right.
If you look at 2008, Great Recession for us, they lowered the rate. If you look at COVID, they lowered the rate. So I do believe, next year, shortly thereafter, they're going to lower the rate again.
Right. And you said you're on top of the market on a daily basis, and you said that you mentioned to me that it's possible to see stuff in the 4s and low 5s next year for rates.
Well, Fannie Mae, who predicts, who insures all the mortgages in the United States, they're predicting a 4.5% interest rate.
Nice.
So to me, we talk about marrying the house. So that's why I say there's never, why not buy a house today when you can negotiate, maybe get some seller concessions, maybe be a little bit more aggressive on price and buy today. And then when the rates drop, and we can get into that later, but we can refinance you at a lower rate. So get the house today that you want today.
Right. And we just kind of had that happen. Actually, Maria, one of our new agents here, we just put a house under contract, and the price was, originally we saw the price at $799. House built in 1997, $799. Need a little work. It had a new roof. Pretty good deal. But then it was sat on the market for 30 days, and you saw the price drop to $729. And then it dropped to, was it $689? $689? $699. And then we put an offer at $650, and they came back and we split the difference. So it was about $675.
It's amazing.
So it's just that never happened 8 months ago. You were lucky if we stepped in the door and got a chance. All the memes and all the funny stuff you see, like, oh my gosh, people are so frustrated. So it's frustrating the other way now, but I think it's just back to normal. So, I think we are starting to touch base. Is there some affordability strategies? I mean, you're kind of starting to hit that when I interrupted you. But the affordability strategies, do you have some ideas that maybe people can think about?
So we talk about the market today, and yes, rates are high. So we address it. Rates are high, and that's okay. Because we do have some strategies. So some of the pros are seller pay closing costs. So, so if you lower the price, if you attack the price, it's only $6 a thousand. So if you lower the price $20,000, it only saves the borrower $120. But what if we took that same $20,000 and we use that to buy the interest rate down? Okay. Right. So I just did one with a couple that bought a house for $550,000. And we had the builder, it wasn't a builder, but it was a seller, to give them $25,000 for rates. We bought the interest rate down to 5%. Well, they saved over $550 a month. All right. So $550 a month is a great affordability strategy And today with high inflation and higher gas and higher groceries. So using your team, okay, you guys use these strategies daily. I use these strategies daily. So people watching this podcast understands there's hope. We have strategies today that could help you, even though people say the rates are high, we have strategies to help you win today in this market.
Right. So, and that, when you buy that rate down, that's just fixed. That's just a normal loan, and it always stays that way.
It always stays that way. It's not an adjustable rate
did that
mortgage.
up front, and you're good.
You did it up front. I call that a permanent buy down.
Right.
To keep it in terms people get. So that's a permanent buy down.
Right.
Another strategy is a temporary buy down, where we have the ability to buy the interest rate down 2 full percentage points. So if the rate was, say, 7.25, we could get that borrower 5.25 for the first year.
Okay.
And then in the second year, it would adjust 1 percentage point up to 6.25. And then year 3 through 30, it would go to today's rate, say 7.25.
Now, would it be at today's rate now because you sign it, so you know it's going to be that, or is it or is it for the rate that is in the future?
It's a fixed rate, so you know what it is.
Right.
So, and we do, so nobody gets in trouble. We always approve the borrower on the highest rate.
Right.
So unlike the previous 2002, where we qualified the borrower on the lowest rate, we still qualify you on the worst case scenario. But then at year 3, it is fixed. So you know what it is.
Right.
Can't go higher than that.
Right.
That's what it is. But again, we talked earlier in this podcast, you all believe that the rates are going to drop. And when they do, we'll just refinance you into the lower rate.
Okay.
So, so if the rates go from 7.25 all the way down to 4.5, it's a big savings.
Sure. Now, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think you mentioned something about like a certificate program you have. Is that something you were just talking about, or is this something different?
We talked a little bit about it, and I appreciate you bringing it up. So we have a 5-year rate pledge, rate drop pledge. So what that means is if the interest rate goes lower, okay, in the next 5 years, what I'm going to do, what my team's going to do, NFM Lending, we are going to pay the lender fees and the appraisal, because some people say, well, if I buy today and then I refinance, there's cost when you refinance.
Right.
So what we're doing is we're taking the risk out of it. We're going to pay those costs for the borrower. So you can buy today, live today, so you don't have to pay rent, get the house you want today, and then refinance when the rates drop, and we'll cover those costs.
Right. Anytime within 5 years of your closing.
Anytime within 5 years. And that's strong. So we're saying rates could drop 4.5. And we do have a system when they buy through your team, Dan and I, we monitor that rate. We have a program. So when the rates drop to a low point, okay, we then will reach out to the customer and say, hey, is now a good time for you?
Right.
The rates are dropping.
Right. So, I mean, and you could maybe see some stuff about history in the market, what's going on. When will rates decline? I mean, we kind of touched on the base, but I mean, you do the study every day. So, I mean, nobody has a crystal ball, but from your research, and now you guys are on this every day, do you have like a first quarter, second quarter kind of thing, or is it just?
Yeah, it's just sometime in 2023.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Nobody has a crystal ball. No one could have anticipated that the rate would have went from 3% January 1 to 7.25 October 2022.
Right.
It's been the fastest increase in the history of real estate. And I equate it to if you're playing Little League Baseball and we're up to bat and Nolan Ryan's throwing 100-mile-an-hour at us.
Yeah.
There's
no way.
Because we couldn't have anticipated it. But I know over the last couple of years, you and your team have been, helping people build wealth. And there's so many stories that you have. We talked about never have a bad time to buy real estate. People that bought in 2020, how happy are they now? And even as prices come down a little bit, they still made a ton of money.
Right.
And I don't think prices are going to, and I know a lot of people, it's 2008. Well, in 2008, that wasn't really the real estate market. It was a mortgage meltdown.
Right.
Because we weren't vetting the people. We were just giving money to anybody. And now a lot of the people that you helped have paid cash. And a lot of the people that you helped put a lot of money down. And we had stricter lending guidelines. So the people that are in their home today, they weren't speculation.
Right.
They were living in their home, enjoying their home, or a second home, or an investment. So it wasn't all flips like it was in 2004, 2005.
Right. So it's totally different. So, I mean, there's a lot of history that we can learn from, but it is a cyclical thing. And history does tell us, some of these things are going to happen. And, it might be just a little bit different, but, I don't have a ton more questions. I mean, this is our inaugural podcasting system. And, if there's some things that you feel other people should know about. I mean, we definitely want to know how to get a hold of you, and we're going to put that in the links, how to get directly in touch with you and talk to your team. But is there any, kind of final thoughts that, that people need to know about what you're doing and what's going on?
I think step one is when they call you, Dan, and your team, you want to get pre-approved. It's free to get pre-approved. I'm a local lender. I work here in Florida on the Gulf Coast. My team is here. I'm not a mortgage broker. I'm a direct lender, which means we use our own money. It's all one-stop shop. And knowing what you can buy and knowing what strategies you want to employ, because we have so many strategies, you may want to take the highest rate humanly possible,
right,
knowing that the rates are going to drop. So instead of using the money to buy the interest rate down, you may want to use that money to pay all your closing costs and keep your money in the bank.
Right.
So I always say the first step is to give you guys a call, the Dan Henson team, and then get a hold of me so we can come up with the best strategy to help you win.
Right.
Because everybody's got different goals.
So if you enjoyed this content, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. And if I can help you in any way, just give me that call, shoot me that text, or shoot me that email. I look forward to helping you in the future, and you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and a great year. We'll see you on the next video.